to Team Phoenix Wednesday Hangout. Today I've got on the panel part of the team, and some of us are not here. But yeah, we're just wanting to talk about modeling success. What is modeling success? Now, we as Team Phoenix are going to cover this, and we're going to explain to you exactly what it's all about. We're just going to go through the panel and introduce ourselves. I'll start off with myself. My name is Kimberly Drummond, and I'm a success coach, and I work with entrepreneurs all over the world, helping them get the success they desire in their lives. And I'm part of Team Phoenix because I joined ILN, which is an internet lifestyle network, and I'm so privileged to be here amongst such wonderful entrepreneurs who really are taking their businesses to, far places and really catapulting and quantum leaping their success. We have Andrew. We'll start off with you.
Hi there. I'm Andrew Paul Smith, and I've been in Team Phoenix for about 3 months now, and most recently I've been moving across on my apsmithonline.com. I've been sorting out my own website and my own brand, and now I'm going to start moving into the ILN network and start promoting that as part of my business.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrew. And Christy?
Yeah, hi, I'm Christy. I've been in Ireland since last September, so it's actually almost a year now. I was the co-founder of Team Phoenix, which we started up in November. Well, me and Phil mostly, and then we sort of expanded. And then we've just had a lot of fun, and we just recently joined Ben and Angie's Limitless Mastermind. Yeah, that's what they call, right? So it's really, we're just having a lot of fun, and I love being here, and I can't wait for this topic. So nice.
Excellent. Thank you, Christy. Hi, Denise. If you could just introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, I'm Denise Hernandez, and I have been with ILN since February, and I'm a success mentor, and what I've been using ILN up for till now is the training. I went all in, so I own all the products, and so I've just been really getting into the mindset, the great wisdom Mark Hoverson teaches, and also the foundation of building a business, and been working on branding myself. But I'm in ILN because I love the vision of Vincent Ortega of just helping create six-figure earners. That's what drives him, and so that's why I chose to run with him.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And it's absolutely a phenomenal thing, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The very first thing on our list is the vision. Denise actually touched on it, and she was talking about having a vision to actually grow a business. Now, in ILN, you have Vincent Ortega, who's the company owner, and he had a vision to create six-figure earners, and that's what he's doing, is creating many people who are earning six figures. Now, in business, whatever it is you're doing, you really need to have a vision. You have to have a clear vision in your mind, what you want to do, where you want to go, where do you see yourself, what are you doing? Many people are going through life without a vision. What is driving you? What is your passion? And you really need to pick something that really resonates with you and something that really drives you. Each one of us on the panel have a vision, and and with that vision, that's what drives us through. There are going to be tough times, but when you have a vision, it drives you forward, and it actually gets you to where you want to be, doing the things that you love. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, Andrew?
I've just lost my screen. I can't see you now, but my thoughts on vision are that I went to Bible school back in 1979, and it's one of the scriptures that I remember is, without vision the people perish. Basically, if you don't have a vision for your life, then somebody else has one, and they will incorporate you into it, and you will become part of bringing about what they want rather than what you want. So it's very, very important to know exactly where you want to go. You don't need to know how you're going to get there. All you need to know is that you want to go there, and then the magic can start, because things start falling into place when you start focusing on what your vision is leading to. When you start looking towards where you want to be, then things that you weren't looking at before suddenly it's like in multicolor instead of black and white, and so you can then see in technicolor vision the things emerging as you keep walking forward toward your vision. So just keep in mind where exactly it is that you want to go, and just keep walking there every day, even if it's one step each day. 365 steps in a year, you're going to be a lot nearer.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with that. Having the vision and just deciding, and just picked up some good points, because wherever wherever you go through, no matter what you're doing, is having that vision. Everyone that does anything of any consequence has a vision, and you'll find that people who are a success, regardless of whatever field you're looking at, whatever it is you're doing, you'll find that they have a vision. They have the huge, massive vision of the things that they want to do. I mean, Christy, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, what I have also learned is that it really has to be a big vision, bigger than yourself, bigger than your own life, because if you're struggling with keeping your own life together or thinking about your own finances or anything, you don't have a big enough vision to actually get out there and get successful, because you are so limited in your mindset. So the vision has to expand so much so that you can actually find ways to help other people and really focus on that instead of focusing on your own thing. Well, one thing we also sometimes complain about is when we get close or acquainted with desperate people. That's because they're still in their own little mindset, worrying about their own, or feeding their family or whatever. But it's just not going to get you, because people can sense that desperation. So it's not going to get you to the bigger picture or to the bigger vision. You need the bigger vision to get successful.
Absolutely. It's the Christie's, oh gosh, you've hit it bang on the head when you're talking about having a big vision. It's not about the small vision about making money now. It's about what impact you are going to make on the world. What impact you're going to have on the people around you. What legacy are you leaving behind? Because it's not about the now. It's about having a greater vision. Not just about helping your family, but helping your extended family, helping more people, getting involved in the things that you're passionate about. So that's really an important thing. I mean, Denise, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. To me, vision is the first thing you need to have. Without a vision, you cannot move forward. You will just wander around aimlessly. And two, you need to get very specific on that vision, because you don't know what you're going for if you're not specific about it. So that's what I found. Get very, very specific on your vision, and yeah, like Christy said, make it big. But I remember a time when there were so many things wrong in my life financially, and I was at such a poor mindset at that time, I didn't even realize I could come up with a plan to change it. And I think there's other people out there that are just living day to day, just thinking, I'm going to get lucky one day and something is just going to fall in my path. And it's not like that. We have so much control over our future, but we have to start. And it starts planning and wanting something different, and then creating that vision and just continually letting that vision evolve until you really get a focus on what you're going after.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Denise, it's amazing that people don't really think of vision in that way, and and I'm so happy that you spoke about that and really talking about being specific, because people have a general, like, well, I just want to save the world. There is that. We all do. But get specific, like Denise said, you know, really go down and really get specific. Do not be afraid of going big, just like Christy said. You know, really go for it. You know, have a big vision. This is something that you really should do. And if you feel like you can do it, if you feel like it's something that's doable, then your vision is not big enough. Your vision has to be so big that you can't even imagine how it can be done. So have a huge vision where you have no way of even knowing where to start, how you're going to do it, where you're going to go, but you know that it's something that you're passionate about, that resonates with you. And if you don't know where to start, this is a little trick that you can do. Just sit down in a nice quiet room, put a bit of calming music, and just literally start writing what your ideal life would look like. So you're similar to writing a letter to yourself, writing a letter to, from your future self to the now. So, for example, if I was writing a letter to myself from the future, I'd be like, dear Kimberly, oh my God, life is so amazing, and write all the stuff that you really want to do in present tense. So you're writing it as if it's already happened, and just keep writing, and just, you know, it will flow out of you. And from that, you can, if you don't really know what your vision is, it will come out in your letter, because you will see the things that really resonate with you. A lot of people think it's about money. It really isn't about money. It's about the passion. It's about the vision. It's about the legacy. It's about what you're brought here on earth to do. And so you need to tap into that and figure out what it is. Now, the next section that I want to talk about is decision. You have got to make a decision. Decide exactly what you want, where you want to be, and exactly what you want to do. Now, successful people make decisions very promptly, and you know, they make the decisions very promptly, and they don't change them so often. So once they make a decision, they don't go about changing it every 5 minutes. So when you make a decision, you stick to that decision. Obviously, you know, you're not sticking to a bad decision or anything like that, but you need to make a decision, a wise decision. You need to make it quickly, and you need to stick to it. You know, you find that a lot of people who are not successful, they change their decisions quite rapidly all the time. And you've got to decide to be success. You've got to make sure that it's a decision, not just a verbal decision, but it's a decision that you feel within your heart, in your subconscious mind, in your every fiber of your being feels that decision. You've made a decision, you're going to be a success, and you move on forward. Christy, what are your thoughts about that? About decisions?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I feel that you can have the decision, and you can maybe see yourself getting it. That's really a big part of it as well. Visualizing it, and making sure that you get into the mindset and get help from your subconscious mind on what actions to do to get the ideas to get you there. But sometimes you might have to rearrange your life or do something so that, and then you might get not stuck, but just wait a little bit for timing to become better, or just following the energies. But if you have the decision set in stone, sort of, your subconscious mind and surrounding energies, or whatever you call it, will really help you get it, because you have that strong belief in it, and you feel it. You feel that you will get there, and that you will provide some great value for the world. So yeah, so it will pop up in your head, sort of ideas and what to do to get there, what to do to evolve that.
Absolutely. I mean, Christy's right. You know, she's mentioned about making a decision and having the things popping up and assisting you to get to where you want to be. Once you make the decision, the universe, God, everything around you really conspires to make things happen for you. And once you make that decision, regardless of how hard it seems or how impossible it may seem at the time, once you make the decision, everything around you conspires to make it happen. And just being aware of these things happening and coming your way, it's, you know, and you just got to decide to take action. You just got to decide to say, yes, I want this. Yes, you know, bring it, give it to me. Denise, what are your thoughts? Oh, sorry, go on, Christy.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that you might be led to some different roads that you don't really feel are beneficial for your vision, but it's to learn something more about to make you become stronger and to be able to handle that success that you will get. So you are led on different paths that will support you in your decision, but you might see it as being a big struggle and why are we here? But it's all helping you. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I love that. And it's something that people don't really talk about, having being led down certain paths and actually going down a certain path. And a lot of times you're going down a path. I mean, once you've got a vision and once you decide, you could be led down a path that you never even thought. It's not a path that you had planned, but it's a path that you need to go down to learn the lessons, to learn something, to grow in some way in order for you to get to where you actually have decided that you want to be. So it's all about acceptance of things coming your way and learning the lesson quickly and moving on and continuing with your vision. So it's a great thing that you mentioned there about paths. Denise, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that is very important to I think figuring out how to be comfortable and confident in your decisions. And I've experienced, like Christy said, making a decision, and just learning to follow your gut, and it'll lead you down paths, and it's like, why is this happening? But keeping that vision in mind helps so that when opportunities come, it's easier to say yes or no because you can kind of feel that is in alignment with your vision, and yeah, and to just trust that path is taking you to where you want to go. I had an experience where things were really, really moving, and I was really happy with my life. And all of a sudden, it was like someone let the air out of my tires. I had no desire to continue at all. And I just had the feeling that I needed to stay home and just take care of my family and my home and just let it all go. And that was hard for me to accept, but I did that. And then the end of last year, all of a sudden, it's like that fire just flamed higher than ever, and I just was set on fire again. And it's like I just got that vision back, and now I'm moving forward at a faster speed than ever before. But I know that time that I spent taking care of my home and my family, it had a purpose to help lead me to that end that I'm aiming towards.
Absolutely. And it's so amazing. I mean, for those that don't know Denise is a mother of not one, not two, not three, not four like me. I've got 4 children, not 5, and not 6. And I'll let Denise let us know how many children you have. How amazing you are.
Oh, thanks, Kimberly. Yeah, I have 12 kids. And when I was little, that was actually part of my vision. I wanted to have 12 kids. So it happened. Not because once I got married, I was purposely headed towards that number of children. Can't speak all of a sudden, I'm sorry. I was just willing to receive however many were going to come into my home. But once I had 12, I realized that was a dream I had from when I was a little girl. So it's amazing how that happens.
That is just awesome. I'd just like to, take my hat off and just say it's just an amazing thing to actually take the time and look after your family. But the great thing that Denise mentioned is still having the vision. Each of us have a vision burning deep inside you. So it's about you can't put it out. You might not be able to use it at a particular time. There might be transitions that you're going through, but you will always come back to that vision that you had, and always come back to that fire that burns within you. and it's just making the decision. And the decision is actually made a very long time ago. It's a decision maybe that you made as a child, like Denise was saying. She made a decision that she wanted to have a lot of children. And it's something that you make a decision. You decide, this is what I'm going to do, and you go ahead and you go and do it. So for anyone listening right now, decide right this minute that you will be a success, and not just a success in things that maybe I feel is successful. In the stuff that you feel successful for you, you've got to decide what is success to you, and decide that you're going to do it no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard you have to work, no matter what goes on, you will still push through. So just make that decision today. Andrew, do you have any thoughts on decisions?
Am I unmuted? Yes. No,
Yes.
I'm not.
You are.
I have trouble with this muting and unmuting of the microphone. I was told, maybe I'm not remembering this correctly, that a decision is a cutting off. It's like a Latin word to cut off. So when you decide whatever it was that you were doing before that decision, that's in the past, it's gone, and you've got to now focus on making the pathway to where you want to be, the success that we've been talking about here. So the decision, it's like a finality of the past is behind, and now it's time to move forward. And until you make another decision, it's like you get to the brow of the hill, and then you can see around you a lot better, and then you decide, well, where do I go next? Which is the next pathway to take? And then you wait until you get to the next brow of the hill, and then you do that all over again. But once you've decided, there's no going back. That was the only thought that was in my mind that hasn't already been shared, that the decision is final. Once you've made it, then there's no going back. And that is the only way that you can make progress in your life, by saying the past is behind me, the future's in front of me, I'm going for that now.
Absolutely. I love that. There's no going back. So decide right now, if you want to be a success, how, just decide that, you're not going to go back to your old ways. You're not going to go back to, progressing in the mediocre life that you're living, or just, you might not be living a mediocre life, but you need to progress doing the stuff that you want to do, not the stuff that, maybe your parents have decided for you, or your teacher decided for you, or somebody else. Make the decision to go forward to do what you want to do. And that is really what a lot of successful people do. They actually made a decision, they have a vision, they made a decision, and they're going forward and they're using that decision. The next section, what I want to talk about, is persistence. Now, you've got a vision, you've decided what you want, you're passionate about it, you've made that decision, there's no going back, and you do it for a month or two, and then you decide, maybe not, maybe I'll come back to it next month, or maybe next year, because it's always going to be burning inside me. You have got to persist. Even if things are going wrong, even if you're failing in whatever it is, persist, because with persistence will come success. Now, Napoleon Hill talks about persistence, and if you haven't read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, get it, read it, and read it, and read it again. And the reason I say it, read it over and over, because every single time you read the book, new things come into your mind. And there's a chapter on persistence that it's very important for everybody. Yep, Andrew's showing it. Let me just put Andrew on. There you go. There's his book. It's an absolutely awesome book, and it's phenomenal, and it's really important for you to read it. Now, there's a chapter on persistence, and Napoleon Hill covers why to be persistent, and I'm not going to talk about it. If you don't know about it, you've got to read it. Buy the book and read it. But once you get the book, make sure you read the chapter on persistence, because there's really a lot of stuff in there that really hits me. Sometimes I go through a hard time and I feel like, oh my goodness, but just because I've read persistence, the persistence chapter, and I are ready for 90 days. with my persistence partner, and we read it every single day. So get an accountability partner. This is my thing. Get an accountability partner and read the chapter on persistence every day. Do it for 30 days, maybe not 90 because it might be a bit much, but read it for 30 days and be persistent. And you know the funny thing is, as you're reading it, you will go through struggles, you will go through times where you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to read it anymore, I'm tired, you procrastinate, you have all the excuses. But if you can do it for 30 days without stopping, that's fantastic. And if you miss a day, start all over from the beginning. And there is an art to this, and if you can do it, it'll be fantastic. A friend of mine actually did the persistence book. He was on day 29, and he was reading it with his wife, and they fell asleep before they could start reading it because they were reading it every night. He fell asleep, and then he had to start on day 1 again. I was like, oh my goodness, I never want to do that. So when I read it, I literally, there were times where I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. But the accountability partner is great because they hold you accountable. So when you are struggling and you're like, oh, you feel really bad, for your partner. So grab an accountability partner, read the persistence chapter, and this will help you in your business. It will help you no matter where you are, what you're doing in your life. It will really help you grow and get to where you want to be. Denise, what do you think about persistence?
Oh yeah, that's a very, very important principle. And I love that chapter. And I watch for it in my children and how little kids are so persistent and they just don't give up. And the result is the same. It's the same principle with us. We have to be that same way and just continue to go for what we want until we get it.
Absolutely. And it's once you have the vision and you've decided, decide to persist as well, no matter what's going on. Really push through, keep going, just keep on moving. That's what life is about. If you plant a seed, for example, plant a seed in the ground, the seed doesn't give up. Once it starts sprouting and growing, it doesn't decide to stop growing. It's covered in soil. It knows that at some point it's going to see the sunlight. At some point it's going to grow and flourish and, be greater. So it pushes through, gets to a point where it pushes through, opens up, and it finally hits the sun. So you've got to be like that seed. Once you plant that seed, look after that seed, water it, just persist and keep going. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
Am I still on mic? I am, aren't I? I've not turned my microphone off this time. Persistence. Story of my life, I know where I want to be. I feel a bit like Denise in that I had a picture of myself 40 years ago, what I was going to be doing in my life, and I've yet to fulfill that. But I feel closer to it now than I've ever felt before. And it's just hanging on in there. Sometimes it's just being that dog-eared determination that I will never, ever, ever give up. It's the story, isn't it, of Jacob in the Bible and the ladder to heaven, and he was. There's this the angels going up and down the ladder, and then this pre-incarnate Jesus that we were told in Bible school started wrestling with him, and he got hold of this angel of God, and he kept fighting, and he wrestled all night with him. And he said, Jacob said to the angel of the Lord, he said, I will not let you go until you bless me. And Jacob his hip was damaged in this fight, and they said that it was because he'd asked for this blessing, and he limped forever from that moment on, because he'd had the hand of God and the blessing of God on him. So are you willing to fight for it? Are you willing to have that tenacity. There's another good word, tenacity. To not let go until you get what it is that you came here for. And if you're that determined, you'll have it. Nothing will stop you. I promise you, nothing will stop you from having what it is that you want, as long as it's something that is not against the law or against your own good conscience or against the good books. You can have whatever you want in this life, but you have to be determined.
And maybe
Thank you,
stubborn.
Andrew. That is just so amazing. Christy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I actually just watched a documentary about successful people, where he was really stubborn. He was like a millionaire now, of a product, and he said he'd just always been stubborn. He just really wanted it, and that determination, yeah, being stubborn and not listening to people who doubt you, or but listening to your own vision. So. And another thing I wanted to say was, oh, you want to say something, Andrew?
In a minute.
Okay. I just wanted, because Kimberly, you were talking about Think and Grow Rich, and I actually did my 100-day video challenge from Ireland. The first one I did was where I was reading 2 or 3 pages in Think and Grow Rich. In every video, I didn't do it every day. I had a period where I came out of it, but I finished the project. I did all my 100 videos, so I actually have that now, and I think a project at some point would be to study it again by listening to my own past videos. so I could do that, just take one a day, but a future project, not now. But
I was just going to add about Walt Disney. Walt Disney went to over 1,000 banks before he was given the money to build the first Disney resort in Florida. They said, you want to build a children's playground in a swamp? You know, why ever would people want to go to a swamp for their holidays?
Yeah.
And he just kept persisting until somebody said that they would give him the money, and then the actual opening ceremony, he died, and it was really really sad. Somebody's taking pictures while I'm tickling the back of my head. And Ray Disney, who is Walt's brother, was being asked by one of the reporters what it was like to be there at the opening ceremony. How sad it was that Walt had never seen it. He said, no. Walt saw it long before anybody else. That's why you're looking at it now.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great story about persistence, and
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I never realized that it was that's what happened actually. So I'm learning something new as well. It's absolutely phenomenal when when we look at persistence and actually just moving forward and persisting in what you want to do. I mean, Napoleon Hill talks about how to develop persistence. So if you don't know how to develop persistence, it's a really great, you can actually go through it. And the very first thing actually that he talks about is a definite purpose backed by a burning desire for its fulfillment. Now, to me, that calls that as a vision. You have a purpose, you have your burning desire because it's something that you really want to do. And so that's what that's the first part. It says number 2, a definite plan expressed in continuous action. Now we're going to talk about action, which is the next part, where we actually talk about action and how we can actually move forward. A mind closed tightly against all negative and discouraging influences, including negative suggestions of friends, of relatives, friends, and acquaintances. Christy said that. Regardless of what anyone is saying, you're just pushing forward, because if you have that desire, if you have that vision, if you know no matter what people say. Andrew talked about Walt Disney, how he was denied so many times. You just keep knocking on that door, eventually someone's going to open the door. That door is waiting. And think about it this way. Now, as a parent, and a lot of us adults here, would you give your child your 5-year-old £50 and let him go off into the world and just say, oh yeah, go shops, here you go, here's £50 or €50 or $50, off you go, enjoy yourself. No one would do that in their right mind. Why? Because the child has to prove that they're responsible. The child has to prove that they really want to do this, that it's all about proof. So in order for you to be a success, think about, monetary success, for example, you need to prove that you can handle money. So handle the little money that you have right now. Handle the disappointments that you're having right now. Because once you have more money, you might have more problems. You might have bigger disappointments. Now, if you can't handle the small stuff, how are you going to handle the big stuff? So really decide right now that you'll be able to, just push forward and just handle the little stuff that it might seem big in your world and it's like a huge thing, but there are other people who are going through bigger stuff. And so the way to turn things around, so when you're feeling down and you're feeling like you don't want to do, I don't know, just go forward, you can't persist anymore, read the book, read Think and Grow Rich, read the chapter over and over. Also, while you're actually doing that, just be grateful. Think about all the good things that you have in your life. No matter how, bad the situation can be, there's always a good thing that you can find from it. So that's my thoughts on persistence. Next bit, we want to talk about, and I did mention action, but I'm going to mention, do that bit later on. Masterminding, guys. Masterminding is really key to success. It's really great to surround yourself with people who will help you push you forward, which will help you get to where you want to be. Christy talked about this, to surround yourself, she was saying, not listening to all the negative stuff. Now, it's good to surround yourself with people that would say positive things. Even if you're going through a tough time, someone can say, oh, well, and just find a positive thing for you. Masterminding really helps you get there. And you don't need to know everything. It doesn't mean that, well, I've got a vision, I know what I want, but I don't know how to get there. That's what your mastermind's for. In the Bible, it says, when 2 or 3 of you are gathered in my name, there I am. There is power in masterminding. There is power in getting several heads all together and really going for it and actually thinking about masterminding. Christy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think what we're doing now is great too, but I know that you say that it's better to have a private forum where we can speak totally in private and in confidence, and yeah, of course, when we exchange ideas, we get motivated by each other, and we get ideas from what other people say. So it's great to share ideas and share the energies of supporting people, like-minded people who have not the same visions, but their own visions that are aligned with yours, sort of, and then you can cooperate on getting there, both of you, all of you. So it's great, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great to share your vision with, like Christy said, in a secure area. I mean, it's great what we're doing. We're almost similar to masterminding, because right here we're talking about stuff, and you're thinking about stuff. If you're watching this, you're thinking about all the stuff that you can actually do and how you can implement what we're teaching here. But it's also important to actually go into a group where, if you don't mastermind, definitely do it. It's something that you need to do. And I'm going to go back to Think and Grow Rich again. Napoleon Hill talks about masterminding. And so if you want more clarity on masterminding, just go have a look at the book, and it really covers masterminding. Or just Google mastermind, on YouTube or whatever, and there'll be people talking about masterminding. There's different mastermind groups, but the concept was really started off with Napoleon Hill, and it's all to do with leveraging other people's resources and other people's information. So you don't need to know everything. Even if you don't know how you're going to get your vision, how this vision, Christy talked about having a big vision. You have this huge vision and you don't know how you're going to do it. But masterminding, by just masterminding with a few people, it will really get you to where you want to be, because there's certain things that other people know that you don't even know about, and those are the people that are not in your immediate circle, but the people who will be in your mastermind. Denise, what are your thoughts about masterminding?
Masterminding, I think, is huge. And for it to work effectively, you need to find a group of people, at least for me personally, a safe environment. Because you really have to be able to open up, and you have to trust the advice and what other people are sharing, so that then you can go and you can implement that into your business or into your life to really find success. So it needs to be an exchange of ideas in an environment where you're open to other people's ideas and other people respect your ideas. And when you do it in that way, the synergy that is created is super powerful, and a lot of wonderful things come from masterminding.
Absolutely, I completely agree with what Denise said there about synergy. You know, there is power, and you have to do it in a safe environment. Christy mentioned this, Denise is mentioning this, and you know, I'll say it again. It has to be in a safe environment. You have to trust. You know, you've got to trust the people who you're bringing into the circle. Now, some masterminds you might not know the people, but there's an agreement with everybody who just joins the mastermind that whatever's said in the mastermind remains sacred to the mastermind group. You have to be open in a mastermind. You have to be able to, you know, for it to work for you, you have to be open. There has to be an element of trust. You've got to be able to trust the group and open yourself up completely to the group and really gain what you want to do. You know, if you've got troubles in business, just really come out and just say it. Now, you can choose different types of mastermind groups, and a lot of successful people are actually in a mastermind groups. A lot of ideas that you see out there, Jack Canfield's his Chicken Soup for the Soul, that all came from an idea that was presented to him in a mastermind group. You speak to anyone who's of any consequence, they are in a mastermind group. Andrew, what are your thoughts on masterminding?
Well, it's a concept that I've read about in Think and Grow Rich a number of times, and I've always thought, wouldn't it be great to be involved in one? And I've never been in one. And on Sunday night, I was in my very first mastermind, and it's just a different level of experiencing. It's like you know what you want to do in your life, but you have, like you said, you haven't got all the resources, but you may have some of the resources that the other people in the mastermind don't have. So it's a win-win, and it's a giving environment, and just to know that there are other people trying to get not necessarily to the exact same place as you in their life, but they have a similar destination in the sense that they have a success path, and you kind of understand each other in that respect, and then you can move forward and help each other to do that. And then of course all the wins that come about because of the mastermind are shared, so there's a lot more joy in the lives of the people, because if you are totally committed to it, then obviously you're just as thrilled when somebody else does well, and when they come and report back. And that's the other thing, isn't it? Accountability. When they come and report back that this was suggested to me last week and I went and did it, and then there's like a celebration that idea wasn't there until the mastermind got together, and now it's not only been thought of, but it's been completed, and then we can go on from that to another step along the path for that individual, and it's that camaraderie, I guess. It's like a family, isn't it? That's what the mastermind is.
Absolutely, and it's not just, you know, it's, Andrew talked about really being as part of the family, and it's not just, it's more than that. It's actually, you know, you trust the people in your mastermind group that they're giving you information that will help you, and you have to be open enough to take action. And this is the next part of the thing that, you know, of this going to say mastermind, this hangout that we're talking about. It's about taking action as well. So, you know, it's fair and fine having all the information by you taking action. Now, a lot of people who are successful take action. They go into masterminds and they take action on what is presented to them. They have a vision. They take action on their vision. They decide they're going to take action. They persist, which is an action orientated. So, you know, it's very important to actually take action on a lot of things. They take action and do stuff. Now, right behind me is a library. I've got infinite books here. I can read and read and read, and you guys can listen to video after video. You can read book after book, and a lot of successful people do that. They do read, and you know, you find that a lot of people who are a success are taking in information, but they are also taking action. So it's very important not to just take in information and let it sit within you. Each one of us has so much information lying deep within us, and it is your duty to share that information that you have with the world. Don't sit there hogging all that lovely information, you know, to yourself. Share it. Just share it with the world. Whether you charge us, whether you give it for free, just let it out. You know, don't just take in information and not expel it. You know, so it's important that whatever you're doing in life, you have to apply it. Now, I know I've got family members who are very good at, you know, they're very studious, and they did a lot of work and then got their PhDs, but they're not applying it. They're not doing anything with it. You know, so whatever it is you're doing, you have to make sure that you're doing something that you're going, you know, if you're going to school to learn, for example, I did my degree in physics, and here I am coaching and working with entrepreneurs, but I actually do apply my physics in what I'm doing, you know. And I know a lot of people, you know, like Christy was a teacher, and she applies that in when she's working with her clients and working with people. She actually coaches and she applies it. So you don't just, anything that you learn, anything that you go through, you have to make sure that you're applying it in everything that you're doing. I mean, what are your thoughts about that, Christy?
Yeah, definitely. I feel that many of us entrepreneurs who are here, we sort of have our different talents and values that we can. I feel that when you have a big vision, all of your talents are sort of they sort of go into it. But it's a big culmination of what you are and what you have to offer to the world. So with me, for example, yeah, like teaching, I definitely am wanting and have built some want to produce more teaching material here online as well, because I can teach in high schools and teach yoga and everything, but I also enjoy this internet lifestyle, and that's my future, because I want to live the internet lifestyle and not be bound to a job at one place. So it's definitely to use your talents. And I was also thinking about what you said about accountability, because yeah, one thing is to have a partner and to do it in the mastermind, but I also find it good, as Ben and Angie are doing it in their team group, where they post just to write in the comments the 2 things you have done today. And I actually found that very, very helpful, because some of us have full-time jobs, and sometimes when other marketers say, well, you just have to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this every day, and we can become so, well, I can't do that, and also people with a lot of children, and we just have to make our own life work. I tried going part-time. I tried different things to see if I could do this, but then I became worried about my financial struggles and everything, so that didn't work for me. So a full-time job does work for me right now, but I just have to, I still want to work all that I can on this business and develop it, and I have plenty of time to do that. I don't have a family or yeah, I just have my full-time job. But yeah, so the thing is to that 2 things a day I can manage. I can do that without feeling overwhelmed. So it's just to have accountability, but not try to eat too much of the cake all at once, or sort of just make it fit your own life, your own everyday life, because that's where you are right now. Of course, you want to be there where you have all the time in the world. I had another job where I actually had a lot of free time. Of course, now I'm going to get paid a lot more, and yeah, I've actually within the last year I've tried different. I've experimented with different types of jobs, and then I actually end up going back to my teaching job, which pays me a ton of money, and I have a lot of free time because I only have these 18 hours where I have to be in the classroom, and then I can manage my own preparation time. So I can fit it in, and I can fit my ILN business in as well. So I'm just experimenting with my work life and what I can do and make it all happen. So where was I? Yeah, accountability and taking action, but only where it can fit your life.
Absolutely. I mean, Christy's right there. Whatever it is you're doing, you have to make sure that it fits in with your vision, which is why that's the first thing you have to think about. It's about your vision. Make sure it fits in with your vision. And, you know, part of having a vision is living. You know, you have to live. You have to have a life. So you have to ensure that it fits in with your vision, that, you know, you've decided, just decide already that you're going to make it happen, and, you know, and just persist. You know, Christy was saying that she's trying different things, and, you know, like what you were saying, Christy, about trying different things and trying different angles. That's fantastic, you know, because you're not stopping. You're not just saying, oh my gosh, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm going to suddenly stop. You're still persisting. You're trying different things, and you're persisting and taking action. And that's key in everything that you're doing. You persist, you take action. You have to have your vision, and you persist in the direction of your vision and really making the decision. And, you know, your mastermind group does help you get to that place where, you know, you can leverage your resources and get to a place where you can just take action on several things. Andrew, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm just thinking about that guy, Edward Deming. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a guy who went into Japan after the Second World War. The industry was all decimated, and he instituted an award, the Deming Award, which is for constant and never-ending improvement. And each year, I don't know if it's still happening now, but each year for many years in Japan, each company was trying to get the Edward Deming Award. And it's just these one little tiny steps each day, just tiny little actions that improve things. And the Japanese industry boomed in the latter half of the 20th century. We all know now that made in Japan isn't a joke. It's quality products that we're getting now from Japan. I've had a Toyota car for 12 years now, never let me down. It's a good quality product, and the reason why is because of the persistent intention of taking actions that would bring about a quality product. Now, right now, if you're working on your business and it seems it's like a mountain to climb, and you don't feel that you're ever going to get there, just put one foot in front of the other. Try and do something better today than you did yesterday, only a tiny bit better. And we already said this, I've already said it once before tonight, 365 steps further on by this time next year. You're going to be miles ahead in your own, fulfilling your own vision if you take action, as long as the actions that you take are bringing you towards where the vision is pointing you to. If you're actually walking away and you don't know that you're walking away, that's fine. But if you're deliberately walking away, that's silly. If you know that when you realize if you've been walking away from the vision and you come to your senses, think, oh no, I shouldn't have been doing that, then just turn back and start walking towards it. But constant and never-ending improvement, just one tiny little bit at a time, taking action, just a tiny little bit of action every single day to bring you closer. And then you can write down the 2 things that you did today that got you closer to the vision. Then you're going to make progress. You've got to make progress. You can't help yourself but make progress, can you?
Absolutely, and I love that, just taking a few steps and moving forward. That's the thing, when you're doing anything, and I think that's where the vision comes in, because if you're passionate, and I'm talking about being passionate and loving what you do, you can't help but keep moving. You can't help but keep moving forward and persisting and just taking action. It's that thing, and that's why we started off with the vision, because people who are successful, and if you're going to model success, you have to realize that they love what they do. They absolutely love what they do. And that's where your vision comes in. You've got to love what you do, regardless of what you're doing. Just decide what you want to do, where you want to be, and then just consistently hold that vision, let it burn within you, and just know that it's that passion that sells you to where you want to be, and you just keep taking action. Andrew's right, little steps, it doesn't have to be a giant leap. It just has to be one step at a time, and the quantum leap happens. And we're going to talk about this another time, but I really want to talk about literally quantum leaping your success, and understanding that yes, you are taking little steps, and you can take little steps in your world, but you can actually quantum leap your success. But for now, just take the steps step by step, and actually just move forward and just get to where you want to be. Denise, what are your thoughts on that?
You know what? While I was listening to all of you talking and giving that awesome advice on action, the one thing that I found is that they're always saying that out of all the people who purchase training, only 10% of them take action. But those 10% go on to be successful. So that one little adjustment, if you're not finding the success that you want, ask yourself, am I taking action on what I'm learning? And just by taking action, your results will improve dramatically.
Had myself muted. I was going to say thank you, Denise. I love the fact that you talk about, that question, am I taking action? And that's a question that is really important. Ask yourself that every single day when you're doing stuff, every single day. At the end of the day, am I taking action? Am I taking action towards my goal? Am I taking action towards my desire? Am I taking action to where I want to be? And it's a fantastic thing. And Denise touched upon actually about investing in in products and in stuff, and I want to move on to the personal development side of things. A lot of people invest in their personal development. Anyone who's a success makes an investment in developing themselves, in growing and being where they want to be. So just make sure that you are investing in your personal development. Now, when I say personal development, books, do some reading. Stop spending time watching TV, watching house shows and all that stuff that doesn't get you to where you want to be. Yes, you may think of it as, oh, I'm just taking time out. Well, take time out and read a book. We talked about Think and Grow Rich today. We've talked about it several times. Take that book out and read it. And it's a book that you will read over and over and over again. My copy is different to Andrew's, but it's a classic book. Read it, grab any book, even if it's a light book, develop yourself, grow and learn, and literally buy a product and use it, take action on it. We talked about that, about taking action. Use what you have, use the tools that you've got right now. If you don't have the money, here's the thing, a lot of people are spending a lot of money on things that they don't have, on stuff that they don't use, which we've talked about. People are not using the things that they have, and they're not leveraging their resources. They just buy more stuff, buying more books, buying more courses, buying more programs, and they're not taking action. What's the point? Decide right now that you're not going to buy anything until you have actually taken action on all the stuff that you've bought. Go back, look at all the tools, look at all the resources that you have in your massive head, in your computer, in your library. Just figure out what you have. Write down all your resources, and once you've done that, figure out what you need and see what you've learned, you know, and leverage what you've learned. Use what you have right now. Many people going forward, they say they don't have the money, they don't know what to do, you know, and I've had a lot of people, you know, a lot of clients of mine, we talk about not having money. But the thing is, if you took a look at what you have a fountain of knowledge, a fountain of information that you can leverage and use right this moment. Tara, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us your thoughts about what we're talking about today?
Well, hello. I am Tara Woodruff, and I'm an internet marketer here with Team Phoenix and the Internet Lifestyle Network. And I'm taking it that we're talking about, because I just got on, investing into your education and taking action. And what are my thoughts on it? There's a reason why a lot of people fail. There's a reason why so many fail is because people stop at their initial investment. And not only do they stop there, they don't even take advantage of the education that comes with that initial investment. They don't read the books. They don't take the time to get themselves peaceful and learn new things. They allow themselves to get overwhelmed. You know, that's why some of the things, like when I bring in new marketers, especially when they're older, because they're more resistant, it seems, to change and learning new things, that I have them learn something super basic and then teach it. This way they get in the hang of realizing that sometimes you just got to learn the whole new thing and just do it, because the people that are making the money, the people that are in that top 3%, are the people that implement what they learn, and they don't waste their money on investing on something that they don't bother doing all the way. That's why Internet Lifestyle Network has that money-back guarantee. You have to use the product fully to get your guarantee. And there's a reason for that. There's not many guarantees out there that give you that. They always want the full bottle back. You know what I'm saying? We want it emptied. And it's because if you're not going to put yourself into it, if you're not going to take your investment seriously enough to do the training and go through the steps, you're not going to make it. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you for that, Tara. And Tara's, you know, mentioned a great point there about actually, you know, you make an investment, but, you know, the top 3% of people, what do they do? Really think on that. What is it that the top 3% of the top earners in the world, what is it that they do? Why is it that 98% of the world's income goes to the top 3%? That's something you need to think about. The next section that I mean, if anyone on the panel has anything to add to personal development,
we've been talking about Think and Grow Rich a lot tonight, and it's now out of copyright, so you can get a free copy of Think and Grow Rich as a PDF download. All you've got to put into your Google search engine, I've just done it now, is free PDF Think and Grow Rich, and it will take you to the document. So you don't need to make any payment at all. You can have that knowledge tonight, but then it's down to you. If you read it, if you apply it, and it's no good having a PDF sat on your hard drive on your computer. You've got to read it, and you've got to find an accountability partner and work through it, and your life will never be the same again. So there's a free book, http://freepdf.org/think-grow-rich.
And what we'll do, I will actually put it below this video so you have access to it, and you can actually click on it and actually get access to your free PDF. And like Andrew said, it's down to you. It's down to you. It's always been down to you. You know, this is your life. This is why we talk about your vision, because it belongs to you. Your vision, your decision making. Sorry, go on, Tara. Sorry.
I want to give a tip for you guys. This has helped me build my list. Put a capture page in front of that PDF link and offer it to your people on Facebook. Most people, they're too lazy to Google it. You did the work for them. In exchange, they give you their email address and you put them on your list.
I like it. We love Tara Woodruff. She's just an awesome branding coach, you know, and I don't even think she said that, but she's absolutely phenomenal when it comes to branding. And, you know, guys, if there's anyone on the panel here who you resonate with, myself, Tara, Denise, Christy, you know, Andrew, just what I'm going to do is actually put the links to all the guys, and then you can actually click on their links and you can actually go and, you know, get to know them better, get to see what they're doing, and literally, you know, because you have to know, like, and trust people, and we want you to know, like, and trust us, Team Phoenix. We are a phenomenal team, and it'll be great to have you on board ILN, and we can show you and share with you and mastermind with you. We can do accountability. We can even coach you. We have, in fact, we have everyone on this panel is a coach. You know, Tara's a coach, you have Denise who's a coach, you have Andrew's a coach, I am a coach myself, and Christy teaches, you know, so you have a phenomenal panel of people that can actually get you to where you want to be, as long as you know what you want. And if you don't know what you want and you don't know how to get to where you want to be, we can help you get to that point where you actually know where you want to be. So you don't necessarily need to stay in any business. ILN, let me tell you something. I'm a businesswoman and I've got my own business, and that's what I do. Each person on this panel has their own things that they do. You know, Christy talked about working. Everyone has what they do. What ILN does is give you information. It's like a university, put it that way. You have so much information in there that it can get you to where you want to be, and you use that information and apply it in your business. So really, if you haven't thought about anything else, and, you know, take action on this, click on the links, get to know us, get to, you know, join us in what we're doing. You know, just reach out to us on Facebook, Google our names, whatever, and join us and just literally see what we do and see if it resonates with you. And if you're watching this, it means that we are, you know, there is something about our panel that you love, you know, so reach out to one of us. The next section I just wanted to cover before we finish is the last thing. Now, we've covered having a vision, which was number one. The second one was making a decision. The third was persistence. The fourth was masterminding. Then we took action, and then we invested in personal development. The last one is innovating. Now, successful people don't copy. We model. Hence the title of this Google Hangout. We're talking about modeling success. It's not about copying other people, it's modeling. Now, does anyone on the panel want to elaborate a bit more about modeling?
Story comes to mind. Tony Robbins said he met one of his personal development author friends on a plane, and he said, where are you going? He said, I'm going on a golfing holiday. He says, what's your handicap like? And he said, oh, it's not very good, about 24, something like that. He said, well, I'll teach you on the plane how to bring your handicap down. He said, you're joking me. There's no room to play golf here. He said, no. He says, I want you just to close your eyes. I want you to think of a time when you hit the ball perfectly. Well, I don't play golf, so I was a caddy one time. I carried the clubs around for a friend of mine one time. But he says, can you imagine when that one time when you hit the ball perfectly and it went straight in to, you know, hole in one? He said, yeah, I've done that. I can remember that. He said, I want you to play that moment over and over and over again in your mind while we sat on the plane. He said he got off the plane, and about 3 days later he got a phone call. He said it was this guy, and he said, I want you to know that you knocked 17 off my handicap on the plane. And they both laughed. So that's modeling, and he was actually modeling himself. You know, haven't there been times when you do things absolutely perfectly right for yourself? Maybe not as many times as you'd like to, but maybe you've done it perfectly. Whatever it is that you're trying to do today, you've done it perfectly. Just stop where you are, close your eyes, and remember it, and run it through your mind again and again and again. And if you haven't got an occasion where you can think about the past where you've done it, think about somebody else that you've watched that did it perfectly, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and run it through your mind over and over and over again. You're modeling. You're not actually copying them. You're just modeling their way of doing things, their modus operandi, I think that's the Latin for it, isn't it? The way that they operate, you watch it, then you've got to do it your own way. You've got to put your own personality into it. It's your life, like you said earlier, Kimberly. It's your life, so you've got to make sure that when you do whatever you're doing, it's got the stamp that's got your name on it, not them. And that's the difference, isn't it? So that, for me, that's what modeling is.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. It's about modeling success. It's about, and you've got to think about it, stop thinking about all the things that you've done wrong. Start thinking about all the things that you've done right, as Andrew said. So if you think about that and you think about how you can best leverage what you already have, it will get you to where you want to be. Now, when we're talking about modeling, it doesn't mean you copy. I know there's people out there. You're watching right now. You're watching several people who are successful. You're watching people, in the world. You're just watching right now. But if you watch exactly, don't listen to what the leaders say. Don't listen to what they're saying. Watch what they're doing, because it's by watching and applying what they are doing. That's key. You can sit there listening all day and all night, but it's about watching what somebody's doing and actually applying that, obviously in your own way, applying that to your business, applying that to your life, applying that to what you already know, and building upon that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Tara?
She's muted.
Tara, you muted?
Okay, I got it. I agree 100%. It's so important to not necessarily listen to what they say, like you said, but to look at what they're doing. And this is where a lot of people, especially in product-based companies and MLM, get mixed up. They found someone on Facebook and they met them and they went and saw their blog, and maybe they got on their email list, and then they find out, oh, they're in this product company, and then they get to know them, and then they join them directly with their affiliate link. And they forget all the other things that attracted them to them. They forget the fact that they had a business page and a blog and an autoresponder, and all that stuff is before you have a product company. Before you take on anything, you need to have what we have here in ILN, and then some. It's not the end of it's not the end of the line. People out there that are true professionals in this industry spend hundreds of dollars per month making sure that they are capturing their leads, providing them with valuable content, and just, it's so much like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think of Ray Higdon today, I get my email every day. He does his video every day. He does a blog every day. You know what I'm saying? And he uses Infusionsoft. Anybody ever price that? Infusionsoft, big money. It's not cheap to have Infusionsoft, so I'm just, it always frustrates me when I see people leave that stuff out and then off they go selling their makeup or selling their shakes, and it's more than that. This is a profession, and it's like having, think about it, if you were a doctor or a lawyer. It wouldn't necessarily be in the same medical practice or same law firm for your entire career, would you? That's why you always call yourself your name with your title at the end. And that's a big thing. We should model what the people are doing, not necessarily, because sometimes they don't necessarily want you to know, and they might not be even telling you that you have to have all that. They just want you in the business so they have another number. And it's important that people are honest to you when you come in, that you have to have more than just your product.
Absolutely, and Tara's right. Sometimes leaders don't want you to know what they're doing. But guess what? There's an abundance of money. There's an abundance of leads, and there's an abundance of everything out there. I could have 1 million people on my list, and you could still get 1 million people on your list. That it's all about, list building is a very big thing, and it's very powerful. You can know what you know, and a lot of people know a lot of things, but it's about building that list, building and getting people to know, like, and trust you and follow you, and do it your way. Because what attracts you to me wouldn't necessarily attract you to Tara, and what attracts you to Tara wouldn't attract you to Christy, and vice versa. And so it's very important that you pick someone. But as you're doing that, if you're listening to a sales video, which is Tara said that, people forget later on, what attracted them to the particular program, or what attracted them to that person. As you're listening to someone, you know, sales video, if you're listening to someone's video, if you're listening to a, if you're reading a blog, if you're reading a book, what is it? What is the point that triggers you, you know? And at that point, you need to write that down. You need to take notes. So maybe listen to it and say, okay, I'm definitely going to buy this product. I really like it for some whatever reason, for what it does. But listen to it and go back and actually take notes on what's been said. Take notes on what they're doing. Take notes and see, do I have to put my email address in? When I press this button, what happens? Be active in what you're doing. You know, we talked about taking action. This is taking action and actively, you know, taking action in your progress, taking action in your growth, and taking action in what you want to do. Be innovative. Be who you are, because, you know, you've got to do things your own way. Christy, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, definitely. I think most of the leaders that have great success, they sort of have their own set up training system. They've sort of learned from, as Vincent say, you watch some of the courses in ILN and then you make your own video about it. And that's how you succeed, because you make it your own. You don't say exactly what they said, and you don't just read up a script. You have to have your own personality shine through, and then you can give out the same knowledge, sort of, but how you found it, and how you what spin you take on it, and then you provide it, and you can set it up in steps or something for others to use and really make it accessible. So
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's doing it your own way. Andrew, what are your thoughts on that? Oh my gosh. I love it. You know, guys, if you are sitting on this hangout and you're listening to what we're saying and you're not taking notes, then I suggest you do it immediately. I've got my notes too. I have been taking a few notes.
Always replay it later.
Yeah, but it's really important, because right now, whenever you go and hang out, whenever you do something, just make sure that you're actually taking notes. You see, Andrew was taking notes, even though he's part of the panel, and I know a lot of us in the panel, we do that. But it's not just important to take notes, because yeah, you can watch the replay, but that's 2 hours now that you're going to be taking out of your life to actually do that. So no, do it immediately. Do it now. Take action. While you're sitting here, listen to us. Take the notes. I did say that at the beginning, so I hope you have been taking notes. I mean, Andrew, what were your thoughts about innovating and?
Yeah, the innovativeness of it is, it's if you are going to do something that other people have done, the only thing that you can do differently is be you. Put your personality across in it. The reason I'm taking notes is because I'm listening, I'm watching, and I'm feeling it. I'm using my feeling in my pen, and then I'm seeing it again in front of me. So I'm making all my senses aware of, and that way, even if I don't look at these notes again, I've got files and files of notes that I've taken. But even if I don't look at them again, it's having an impact on me, and that means that when I get in front of the camera, I've done my 95th video today out of 100 inspirational videos in 100 days. When I get in front of the camera, I've got something to say, because it's all stored in here and in here. It's in the energy field that's around me. I've been soaking it up for years and years and years, and then people say, where do you get it all from, Andrew? But it's there because this is the way I've worked for years and years. And if you do it and it becomes part of you, then what you can do is you can innovate with it, because what you can do is you can put your own personality across, and you can say it your way rather than the way that all these other people have said it before you. And I've studied personal development for over 20 years, and I honestly think that people, all these different names that I've mentioned tonight, and some of the ones that haven't been mentioned, they're all saying the same thing, but they're just saying it in a slightly different way. I went to listen to Michael Gerber in Leeds at the Armories, and he was saying there's 7 points to this, and I want you to make a note of all the 7 points. And he said, do you know? And then he just stopped. And he just looked round the audience. Do you know why there's 7? He says, because I chose there was 7. I could have said there was 8 or 6, but I decided on 7 because I like the number. And I just laughed and laughed. I just found it so amusing that we make it up. If you want to be somebody who is innovative, then it's up to you how you present whatever the information is that you have. If you can get in front of the video and put your own personality across, maybe I'm a little bit too forceful for you, but you could just do it in a much more pleasant and laid-back way, and you could still get the message across just as importantly. But the thing is, you're being innovative because you're using your own personality, and that will endear you to people. Not everybody will like you, but the people who like you will love you, and the people that don't like you, you'll never be troubled by them ever again.
Absolutely, I love that. And you know, it's amazing that we listen to the same things over and over again. Everything we've covered in this panel, I'm sure you've heard it before, you know, everything the panel's covered. You know, we talked to, Andrew mentioned, you know, speakers. You've got Anthony Robbins. Now, he says a lot of things. You've got John Maxwell, who says a lot of things. You have Jack Canfield, you have Bob Proctor, you have Jim Rohn. They all are saying the same thing. But guess what? They've got their own way of saying it. And, you know, you take it the way you want to take it. Some people like maybe Anthony Robbins because of his energy and whatever he does. Some people might like Bob Proctor because he's a really deep thinker. You know, it just depends on you, and it depends on what fires you up. And, you know, so you can listen to it. But it's all the same thing. We're not saying anything new. So, you know, really it's about innovation, and a lot of people are doing it out there. They're innovating, they're doing things their way, they're applying things the way they see things, and people like them for who they are. Not necessarily what they say, but who they are, because how they say it is the way that resonates with different people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, a lot about the energy and the charisma. Yeah, people can feel that, and if they vibrate on the same level, or look for it, or need that energy. Yeah, it's really important. So you're drawn to
absolutely.
different energies. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's got their, you know, different wavelengths and stuff like that. I mean, Tara, did you want to add anything to that?
No.
Okay. So we're pretty much covered, guys. So, you know, that is basically what we wanted to cover. So hopefully you have your notes, you've got everything written down. And, you know, if you don't, you can watch the replay. It'll be available. If you're watching it on YouTube, we're going to put the links to other places and all sorts of things. So we'll get you moving in the right direction. But really, start being persistent in what you want to do. And if you haven't worked out your vision, do it now. Make the decision. Start masterminding. Join a mastermind group of some sort. And really catapult your success. You know, you can quantum leap and get to where you want to be. So goodbye from us. So ciao from me. I'm from London.
I'm from Spain. Bye.
I'm from the U.S.
I'm from Sheffield. Be original. Everybody else is taken.
So guys, we'll see you on the other side, and have a great day.